Is that your zombie impression?
Yeah, it was. You like it?
I mean, yeah.
Good, I'm glad. Hello, and welcome to the Board Game Basement with me, AZ, Ghosty, and as always, Ghosty's mate, who's Alice behind the glasses. So we decided today to go a bit informal. I don't know where everyone else is, but it's hot here in the UK, so we are, as you can see, in our best gear. Even in the basement, we are sweltering. And what better way to swelter than with a festive bunch of zombies? And we're here looking at Zombicide, second edition. How wonderful, by Come On. Come on.
Come on.
So I was quite excited about this game when I saw it coming out, again on Kickstarter. I'd never played Zombicide. Dun, dun, dun. Zoom in on face. Yeah, I'd never played a Zombicide.
I mean, neither have
I think it was, from everything I read, it was one of those things, it was like Marmite. People either absolutely loved it and raved about it and collected every single box they could, or they detested it and loathed it beyond all recognition and made it the butt of every joke going. So it was one of those things, I didn't really want to join in with all of that jazz, so this gave me a good chance to get fresh. Get fresh. So we did. We got our hands on Zombicide second edition with all a bunch of goodies, and we got to get stuck in. And stuck in we did.
So stuck in.
So stuck in we're dead.
Yeah.
We're now part of the hoard.
We're now part of the hoard.
Marching on
I was
towards
gone
Washington.
first in this one.
I know.
Bless her, little Drea.
But it didn't take long for all of us to succumb to such
Not on this particular round.
doom. No, it didn't.
Oh, it was so bad.
So for anyone that hasn't played Zombicide, I'm not sure how many people I'll be referring to, but if you haven't, like me before this, then it is a zombie-based survival game, if you couldn't guess such a thing, where you get a bunch of survivors and you are trying to complete a mission objective before you get eaten, or before any sort of objective things take over and ruin the game for you. There's different types of zombies that turn up. There's certain rules that apply to make things more difficult, and they can change depending on the scenario. But overall, it is a survival-based game where you're rolling dice and trying to take out as many zombies as you possibly can. So rules-wise, really simple. I would say I read through the rule book. It's very nicely done. Like I said, I've not done the first edition, so I can't comment on the difference between it, but this seems very sleek. The mechanics of the game are really simple. Each character, meaning each player, will get a certain amount of turns depending on how many characters they're playing. There has to be 6 survivors in each scenario, so you can divvy that up 6 solo or by yourself, or you can split into 3s, or even have 6 people playing if you want to, and each person takes on a survivor. You get a number of actions per go, and those actions are basically move. You can search, and you can attack with whatever weapons that you find.
Open doors.
Yeah, you can open doors. There's a few other bits as well. There's like mission objective things that you might be able to do, like picking up objective tokens and various other things that cost an action. And as you go along the game, you get better. You become more proficient in zombie killing. And that will give you more enhanced abilities and also even more actions to spend on your go.
Yes.
Which is really nice.
Oh, so good.
So the first milestone that you reach kind of gives you another action, and that feels glorious every time you hit it.
You really rely on that, don't you? Like on your
you do, which is really good, which is really nice. So
yeah. We've
we've had a good few goes of the game. We've also started playing the campaign, which comes in one of the expansion boxes. It's a bit of an and ah, really. I think primarily because the game didn't have a campaign mode for first edition, which I've read about. They wanted to keep that familiarity. I can see that. So I do accept that the campaign one was an expansion. I kind of accept that. I wouldn't say it needed to be part of the main game if that isn't how this is supposed to be run. I'd have been disappointed massively if I'd have got this and then I realised there wasn't a campaign in it. And I'm confused about why there hasn't really been one before, because it's quite a simple thing to make a campaign for. Someone could write one themselves and use the scenarios as the actual bits that you're doing, but an actual story behind why you're doing it would be fairly simple to do.
Yeah.
The campaign that we've done just changes the rules slightly so that you can revive your characters if they go down, but then if they're down for too long, they're out. So it enables you to kind of gives you a bit of leeway in terms of picking people back up. which you definitely need because it escalates quite quickly.
Oh, it can just,
it's a big escalation
really
game,
can.
it really is. And it can turn from nothing to absolute hell in a one round. It's insane. But it's a lot of fun, isn't it?
It is.
Like,
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it, and I can see why people get excited about it because it would be a game that you could get people to come around and play, and it would be quite exciting and funny, especially if they've not played this sort of thing before. And I think that about escalation games have a really good way of doing that. They tend to be ones that you would bring out to the table for sure because they that pressure and that sort of instant thing is quite it's quite a rush, isn't it, when it happens?
Brings out the best and the worst in people.
Yeah, exactly. It really does. It does. And we had a lot of fun with it, didn't we? And I was surprised that I'd not really had a go with the first edition before it, knowing how much I enjoyed this going from that. I don't think they've changed an awful lot, to be honest, from the first one in terms of rules-wise. I think from what I've read, it's fairly straightforward, the same. But don't quote me on it. There might be little bits that have changed because I know there's a lot of different editions of the first Zombicide. Variations of the first one. But yeah, we've had a lot of fun. With what it presented to us. I think, like with everything, the gripes that I have with the game are gripes. They're like nitpicks. They're not actually anything that I would say would ruin the game at all. So while I'm letting you know what I think in terms of bits and bobs, I am just sort of saying these are little niggles that probably could have been changed in a way, maybe. But they don't ruin the game. No, I'm happy to play the game. One of the things I think is noise. I don't think this game needs noise, and I know that was probably a bit of a crucial part of how the game was built. But the noise element thing I think is a bit silly. It's it halts the game while you're placing these noise tokens down that then disappear at the end of that round. If there is a space where the zombies are more attracted to, because some of the scenarios will say like you can't remove all the sound from this area, they only needed to put sort of a sound token in there to say the zombies will migrate naturally to that area. There is hardly any time in this game where a zombie will not see you. And the only time they move towards noise is when they don't know where they're going. And they kind of go towards that. But because the maps are kind of really focused, they just...
Unless everyone was hiding in buildings.
Yeah, unless everyone was hiding. We never really thought about doing. But I suppose it is a style of play, isn't it? That you want to play. But I couldn't imagine that you would want to hide. So noise, I get why it's in there. But, for me, it doesn't really make a massive difference to the game.
It doesn't tickle your pickle.
It doesn't tickle my pickle, no. And putting the noise down is just a little bit, I think, halts the flow that you kind of get going, really. So yeah, there's that.
If you had to really pick something to moan about.
Yeah, if I had to pick the moan about, it would probably be that. They've put sort of kid characters in this game as well, in the second edition. I don't really know why. If they're trying to be Scooby-Dooey, because it's a bit hip at the minute to have kids running around with guns.
I think it might be because it's 14 plus, this game is. So if you've got teenagers, they might want to play somebody like a child.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not overly fussed. Like I wouldn't go and cry about it, and take them to social services or something. But I do think if you've got this many characters to pick from, that's a chunk. There's loads to pick from.
Many.
Why do we need children in it? And if one person's playing a kid, it's like, why? Is it? I don't know. That was a bit strange.
Maybe there is a reason. If there is a reason, someone let us know.
I think it's just a hip thing. It's that hip Scooby-Doo kind of, kids doing stuff thing. I think they just whacked that in for some reason, but whatever. There might be a good reason. If you know, let us know. What are some other things that I wanted to say about the kids?
About the weapons?
Yeah, the weapons. It can be a bit soul destroying at the start especially if you're on a map where everything goes straight away and you can't do anything because you're really strapped down with a pistol and some other really lame weapons. The weapons that you find in the normal crates aren't that great either. So you're wasting turns trying to get a normal weapon, which isn't really that any better than the weapon that you've got to start with. The pimp weapons that you can get, they're the ones that you want to go for, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
You head straight for those to get something quickly because you need to arm yourself like well, and you know that. So it kind of makes those other weapons obsolete. I would probably have liked to have seen where you enter a room and you automatically, certain rooms you would automatically pick up a normal weapon and see if that's any good for you.
Like swap it out for something.
Yeah, like swap it out, or maybe have an array of weapons, and then if you're near a crate, you can have any one of those, and then, you know what I mean? You actually build like a rack of weapons. That would have probably been quite good, because then you can cater, because your character might be better at shooting, it might be better at melee, so if you've got an array of stuff to pick from in a crate, as if you were actually searching through it, that would be a lot better, because you could be a lot more focused with your character, especially with the game primarily being a one-go thing. You know, this isn't a campaign game designed at all. They've added a campaign in, but it is just to do in one go. So I don't see why an array of, you know, weapons would have been a bad idea, really, because you're not making it easier, are you? You sort of just
No.
you're letting you sort of tailor your character, which I think is important, because, you know, I've had my character where that was good at melee only pick up guns and literally just chucking guns away because they're no good to them, and that's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
But overall, we had a good time. We had a good time.
Yeah.
The door opening thing, there's only 2 weapons I think that can open doors, which is a bit strange.
And if you're on
you
the
just have a
opposite
shotgun,
end,
even a rocket launcher can't open the door apparently. Well, I beg to differ. Yeah.
I've tried it.
Yeah, exactly. I beg to differ. There's tons of stuff already for this. You know, they released this as Kickstarter, and as usual, there's like a mountain of things that you can get. There's hours of gameplay, hours and hours and hours, and if you are focused and want to do the campaign, we've had a lot of fun doing the campaign.
I really enjoyed it.
It's not overly complex either. They haven't gone to town on it, so I think even if you are a Zombicide at heart core fan, you would still really enjoy it, because you're picking up these cards, which are tailored to the map brilliantly. They have the picture of where they go. They sit on top, and they can change the picture on the map slightly to represent what it is. So you kind of have a bit of an idea of what you're going to get when you flip the card. So it's got like a bit of a legacy element to it, where you're flipping these, you know, over because you don't know what's underneath and what it's going to say, and then you get to make a choice from there. The choices aren't overly graphic. The choices aren't overly important either, and some of them are very filtered in terms of it'll say, if you don't want to do this, leave it until someone does.
Yeah.
You know, which is a bit.
Let somebody else deal with it.
Yeah, well, that's not really a choice, is it? That's just them saying someone's got to do this.
Yeah.
Who's going to do it? So there's that. But overall, I thought the campaign was well done.
Even the normal game that we played as well, I really enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you string those together, it feels the same, doesn't it? It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't change it an awful lot. You have a few little bits that they've added in, which is sort of day and night, and you've got at night time you have to use a flashlight, and that kind of replaces sound in terms of the zombies will migrate towards the flashlight or the lights that are on, but you and the zombies can only see one space in front of you, so you can't shoot any further than that, which is quite exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, added it.
And you have to remember to keep turning your flashlight off, which is kind of funny, isn't it? Because you have to.
The amount of times I forget.
I've got 4 actions. One of those I need to turn this off. And it was quite fun. I mean, we haven't started in the dark yet, and if it was a long night one, that could get really difficult, couldn't it? Cause
I think
probably find that really difficult. But again, that would be a good way to make the game harder. And I know through the campaign, I'm guessing that will happen. You'll start off at night, and you'll have to have a night fight against goodness knows what. Not being able to attack things in an order that you want really does make the game hard, but I think I like that mechanic actually.
Yeah.
When an abomination turns up, it feels like an abomination because you're running away from the damn thing for ages.
Yeah.
And it's following you around. It's done in a quite clever way where it's not too in your face. He's there lurking, and you know he's coming, but you've got to try and do as much as you can in a short space of time before he gets there. But as he's walking along, he's kind of collecting zombies in his hoard. And before you know it, this abomination's got a horde of zombies with him, and you're just running for your life. So it has that real nice zombie feel. Again, come on, the maps, the cards, the minis, really well done. I mean, the artwork on the board is amazing.
And it really the box artwork as well. Yeah.
It really is amazing.
Really good.
The board, I have to say, I was very, very impressed. the detail they've gone into to make the street and everything really does make it stand out. And the size of the board is really impressive. The squares are quite big.
It works together well, doesn't it? How
Yeah,
they've mapped
it meshes
out.
together really well. And it needed to be this big. It did need to be this. The amount of zombies that you can have in a space, it needed to be this big. And because the rooms are quite small, because they're sort of broken down onto one square, but because of how the zombies work and how they move, they will kind of be out of that to clump together, and that's quite clever. Whether that was just a happy mistake or whether that was kind of, I've never had it where I've had to move zombies into another room thinking, oh, I need to remember they're all in that room. I've never had to do that. They've all fit, no matter how many there's been, they've all managed to fit in one space, and there's been a lot of them in a space. If you look at some of our pictures, there's hordes of them in one space just attacking somebody.
I think I took one when we were here and they were just around us.
What did you think of the trays?
Okay, so I'm partial.
Don't talk about the plastic, please.
Right.
How could you have a cardboard tray?
Right, can you
in this weather?
listen?
It would be. My hands are that sweaty; it would disintegrate in my hands.
Now, if you've ever watched our videos before, you know that I'm not against plastic, but I prefer cardboard.
Yeah, but what about the models?
I said this to you and you were like, I can't believe you said that. Because you're like, no, the models, that's fine.
So they can be plastic, but my tray can't.
Right. You've got a massive problem with that, haven't you?
Yes.
I didn't like the slidey things. They were quite annoying. That was my
They're
only...
a bit stiff, aren't they?
They were a bit stiff.
But they're not bad.
They've got better now. You remember?
Yeah,
Because I was like...
yeah, they're better now, aren't they? And you'd
They are
rather
better.
them be stiff
And you
than
said-
slidey.
Yeah, that's true. And you said, what else would you do instead? And I said, why wouldn't you have like a little counter? Like a little one, like a little crystal or something, or a little one of these.
Because we're not in 1824 anymore. We have the technology to make a slider. Like they did that in in the early 90s. We could put little cubes on stuff, but now we've got the technology to build a slider.
No, I don't think it takes that much technology. But anyway.
But if you knock that ain't going anywhere, is it?
No.
There you go then.
Okay,
As
but
in
what
even
about
those aren't flying
what
now.
about the pegs?
Well, what about the pegs?
You could have done a peg thing, couldn't you, and just moved it along?
Like you do in dominoes.
I don't know. I've never played dominoes.
Like in dominoes. So no, that's what I mean. We don't need
sorry.
pegs anymore. We passed pegs.
But we've got pegs here. Anyway, I like the trees. Apart from the plastic bit.
You just said you like them. You just told us you ate
Right,
them.
no, I didn't say I hated them. I said I don't like the plastic element.
The plastic element. Oh my goodness. Anyway, that madness aside, the trays are fine. I wouldn't play this without the trays. I do think if they weren't in the first edition, then definitely kudos for putting these in, because they make everything really nice and neat. Nothing's going anywhere. Cards are really easy to swap in and out, and they've got little standees for your backpack to put cards in, so you always know what's in your inventory. And they slide up, and they were a bit stiff at first, but now they click quite well. So again, if you knocked this by accident, that's not going anywhere, and the stick things that go in, they're not going anywhere either. So really nicely done, just to give you a good play area. Also keeps everything kind of really nice and compact, because you need a lot of table space for this game. Like I said, this table's 7 foot and a metre and a bit wide. So, and we're taking up most of that. We've played a map where there's 3 and we're on the edge.
Yeah,
we're on the edge
there was
of all
no
that
leading.
stuff. So it is quite a large map, but again, it needs to be. And for us, I don't think that's an issue. It makes it look really nice. And if you were playing this in a games cafe or any place like that where everyone's around a table like they normally are, it would look really awesome. It really would look cool. I'd love to play this game with 6 people. I think it'd be hilarious.
It would be.
It would be, wouldn't it?
See if my family want to play it.
It
might
really
get
would.
a little
It
bit
really would be
hungry.
good playing it with a 6 player. I think it would be quite funny. The only gripe I have, and it's the same thing with these sort of games, and I don't think it's the fault of the game. I think it's the fault of the style that it is. Sometimes there is an efficient way of beating the game. There is. Without a timed mechanic that puts you under pressure in terms of you've got to do it in 10 rounds, you could go through everything really slowly. Everyone stick together, go through a door, wait, kill the zombie, move forward as a group. Like, you could do it that way, but that's boring. No one wants to do it that way. Kick down every door. Pump
Do what we
every
try to
shotgun.
do.
Yeah,
Open
do what
every
I mean.
door.
But it's fun though, isn't it? That's the point.
It
Though.
doesn't
It's
work out
fun.
very well.
No, it doesn't. But could you imagine doing it that other way? And if you were playing with 6 people, that wouldn't be fun, would it? Because you're one of the people that stood there being told what to do, and all your go is moving into another room and waiting. That's not good. That's not fun. You know, you got to, you've got an axe. Get in there.
I want to roll some dice and
kill
roll some zombies.
Dice. I mean, token quality wise, there isn't a lot in the game, which is nice.
Cardboard tokens.
But there's not a lot of tokens in the game, which is good because it doesn't need a lot. We've got some doors, we've got some crates, and we've got some starting locations for zombies, and we've got some noise tokens. And like I said, if you have the expansion, you've got the flashlights. That's it. Really nice. I've got plastic cars that they give, but in the normal one, you can just get these cardboard tokens to represent your thing, your car. And these can actually fit in this squad car, which is kind of cool.
You were so chuffed with that, weren't you?
Yeah, and that was cool.
I mean, look at that.
But I've not used it in terms of a game yet, but I'm sure it would be hilarious. Driving around in my Pimp-mobile wasting zombies because you can run them over, which is good.
Oh, God.
As Alice has mentioned before, artwork's really nice. Goes really long well with all the extras that you can get. These are some metal dice. Now, when they say they're metal dice,
oh my gosh,
these are metal dice.
I don't
think I've ever had dice as heavy as these ever. You know, and something says they have marble dice, and you're expecting to actually get marble dice, and all you get is marble defect plastic dice. It's sad. It makes you very sad. But they've also not weaponized these because they've curved off the edges. Thank goodness, or my table would be ruined. Because Alice likes to throw the dice out of the roller box onto everywhere. But they've shaved off the corners, so don't worry about your table getting destroyed too much. These are very heavy dice, but they're really nice, actually, aren't they? Because it's just, again, this would be a gripe actually that's just come up because I was thinking about this.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Why, come on, have you given everybody a normal 6-sided dice to play Zombicide with? But you can buy the plastic versions of these with the zombie 1 face and the mottle off for number 6, which you should have. Give people the plastic dice, please.
With those symbols on.
The ones that people can buy,
really cool.
give them, please, because that is very silly and greedy. It is, though, isn't it?
Apart from that, I love it.
Yeah, very greedy. Don't do that. Give people the right dice for the game, please. So, yeah. But overall, we've had a blast, and I will definitely be keeping Zombicide, for sure, because, like I've said, I think it would be the perfect game to bring out for a Christmas festive games night, wouldn't it?
Festive zombies.
Yeah, Halloween zombie bashing. Who knows? But everybody could. It would be Halloween, not Christmas.
You said it Christmas.
Yeah, then I said and Halloween, not mashed together. What kind of sick person are you? So yeah, I'll be definitely keeping this in the collection. There's a lot of stuff, as I've said, you can go as deep as you want. I would recommend anybody playing this game, I really would. Give it a go. It might not be your cup of tea if you're not into the style of game, that's fine. The theme of the game, obviously, like everything, you have to be into the theme. If zombies don't tickle your pickle, and to be honest, they're not a massive thing of mine. Obviously, we're getting over the zombie hump now, where zombies were everywhere. And I think we've drifted into the part where I was comfortable to pick up a zombie game and play it without feeling like, I was being swarmed in it.
I felt like I was playing my game again.
So yeah, as long as you're not offended by zombies in any way, then play the game. The game's not overly grotesque at all. The artwork's very nice. I think they've got the right age on it, just because of all the weapons and violence and stuff like that. I wouldn't probably want children doing stuff like that. But for teenagers, it would be hilarious. Like, you would have a really good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we did. We really enjoyed it. So from me, it's 2 thumbs up for Zombicide 2nd edition.
And Ghosty?
Ghosty White, obviously. Boop, 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 boop. He loves it. And 2 thumbs up from Alice. Mm-hmm. So if you do get the chance to play Zombicide, then please let us know what you think. Do it. Give it a go. Let us know how you found it. And if you have played the 1st edition, what you found that's changed for the better or for the worse, for instance. We'd like to know that because we've never played the 1st edition, so it'd be good to get some feedback from that. You can catch us on our Instagram page. We'll be uploading probably more pictures of this as we go along, if you're interested in that. Also, we've got our YouTube as well, which you can sign up to, and then all our videos will be on there too. We've got lots of new things coming up. We'll be playing lots of new stuff and doing some more reviews, so keep your ears to the ground and locked and loaded, for sure. It's been a pleasure, Zombicide. Even though we're dead, I'm going to 3-shot the campaign. I know. How painful is that? But you live and learn, or live and return as a
Live in-
zombie.
yes. Maybe I want to do that. That'd be cool if you could be the zombies.
Only if you weren't plastic.
Cardboard zombies.